Hello and welcome to another golden hour. Today I'm going to be talking about something I'm quite requested on DMs or even on comments, how I edit my videos and the software that I use. I assume from beginners you also want to give it a shot. I like to point out that I'm not an expert. I love it and I kind of gotten better at it throughout the years. It takes me some experience to get to know the program. Don't give up because you kind of feel like you suck at first. You most definitely will get better at it. I never really mention it on my vlog. Not necessarily frustrating for me when I'm editing unless my computer crashes. Just have the habit of pressing save 1,000 times as I'm so used to the program just crashing down. If you have a computer that doesn't really have a good processor, then be prepared for crashing because it's kind of normal. Also, I get some questions about how I combine studying with editing because, like I said, it is time consuming. I do it in my free time and I don't really think about it. Now it's time to edit. Like, I have to put out a few hours of the week to editing. I kind of just do it. I don't really have that many extracurricular stuff. I don't do sports. I don't have anything going on at the uni. It's just studying, which is a lot, I use it as a tool to distract myself from school, and I always film stuff, so I always have footage to edit. I try to space out videos, so if I know that, next week I have an exam, I will save myself from really time-consuming videos. So for example, Study With Me's are really simple to edit, just like 3 or 4 clips, and I just have to cut them and put them together. But vlogs are the ones that take most time to edit. I will save them for like the regular weeks or after exams. So I love to be creative and I love to share these, and the best that you really can do is try and improve your editing and just hope that others enjoy it. Tips are definitely not perfect or anything, but yeah, welcome to my masterclass. So the first thing I kind of have to know is to have a concept in my head of the video that I want to create. So it's not something mind-blowing or like really difficult, it's just a concept or an idea of what you want the video to be, which takes me to my next point, which is to go through all of the film. Like, for example, for a vlog, I will film everything that I want to film for the few days, and when I'm about to sit down and edit the vlog, I go through all of the footage and I watch everything, right? And it can be an hour of footage, it can be 30 minutes of footage. I go through it and I get an idea of how I want the film to be ordered in the video, and I kind of get a concept of what I want the video to turn out like. Do you want it to be more fast-paced, or do you want it to be relaxing, or do you want it to be like, or more autumny? Like, there's so much that you can do and create. So having this idea beforehand, it's not limiting. I don't think it limits me, but it's just, it kind of makes it easier and faster for me to edit because it will influence the choice of cuts and music. I used to import all the footage with a USB. Later I figured out that you can actually put the SD card on the laptop if your laptop has that kind of entrance, and it is so much easier. I cannot stress enough how much easier it is to edit directly from the SD card. You don't have to move files around. It's important to figure out how you can improve in terms of like, how do you angle the camera? Is the camera stable? How can you set up the camera in a better position? That is really important too for a more cinematic type style thing. But it will come with time. You kind of will know how to position the camera with time and what footage fits best your liking. So now it's time to import and cut the footage. Longest time I used an open video source software. By the way, none of these products I'm going to mention are sponsor me anything. This is just what I use. I was searching up and I found VSDC, and that's an open source video editor. The free version pretty much allowed me to do all the basic stuff, but recently I kind of finessed my way into Vegas Pro 17, if you know what I mean. It has a lot more features for me. I can use masks, patterns of the sounds at the bottom. I can more easily match the cuts to the beats of the music and have more transitions and it has keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts have been lifesavers. There are a lot of things they can do, like pressing a few buttons. I do a lot of stuff like fast because I'm typing on the keyboard. No matter what software you use, make sure that you're making the most out of the software. I would recommend watching tutorials on YouTube of the software, because a lot of times like the video editor can be really daunting to look at first sight, and before you kind of get used to it, you can be scared away. There must be some tutorials on YouTube for free, for absolutely free, that you can use. And even though it's kind of annoying, it will save you so much time in the long run, because you're not going to be like running around figuring out how you can add text or move text or zoom in or stuff like that, because you kind of get acquainted. Now, I'm going to share one of the mistakes that I was doing. When I got this camera, the camera has a much better video quality, and I remember not understanding why I was filming on HD and the video wasn't on HD. It's because of the exporting quality that the software was exporting to. So make sure on the settings you kind of change project quality to the same quality that your camera is recording at. You can do long cuts on your editing, you can do shortcuts, you can be like a faster speed, you can be a slower speed. It really depends on what you're going for and what your taste is for, what kind of footage you have. So I know this is not really helpful. Something important too is transitions. I think it adds a lot to my video. I personally started to use them more. So there's before. So there's really like dark. I'm gonna hold the microphone a little bit closer to my mouth, okay? So there's really a transition. Going from a really dark shot to a really light shot, or from like going to music to cut to silence, that's also like a sort of transition. You can do fade-ins for a more subtle, gentler transition. There's just so much that you can do on video editing, and kind of comes to experiencing and your own personal preference and stuff. It's really pissing me off. I also really like adding subtitles to my videos, it's pretty self-explanatory. I make sure that the font is consistent, or I have 2 or 3 fonts to go with throughout the whole video, so it's consistent. Yeah, I personally like it because in most of my vlogs and stuff, I don't really talk that much. Just a way to viewers kind of understand my feelings and what I'm going through without putting myself too much out of my comfort zone, because it's important for you to, in videos and stuff, to get out of your comfort zone. And I've gotten so much more out of my comfort zone. It's kind of unbelievable that I'm even doing a sit down video, but it's still something that's yours, that you should feel happy and comfortable with. Okay, now we're off to a really important part, which is music. It's so important to tie the video together, and I think it's what kind of connects the whole video. It's so important that I often spend extra time carefully choosing the music, and even when I like a song, I'm not gonna automatically put it in the video because it has to match. The platforms that I use to find music are, once again, these are not sponsored or anything, are normally Epidemic Sound. It requires a paid subscription. It's my favorite, not only like the searching thing, also the types of songs. I know there are also thematic and music bed. There's a whole bunch of subscriptions. So basically how these work is that I pay monthly subscription, 13 euros. Whatever music you use from them, you're covered. If I stop a subscription because I'm not uploading anymore, those videos that were published under the subscription are safe. There's also free copyright music from YouTube Audio's library. I find it a lot harder to find music that I like on there, but when I do, it's great because I don't have to pay for it. By the way, I do have a Spotify playlist of the vlog's soundtrack if you want to listen to it. I love it. The final thing is color grading. and it's something that's changed my videos a lot because it gives it a more cinematic feel. And looking back to my first videos, they're not color graded at all. Like, it's the raw footage. Color grading, like, it's a whole world that I'm definitely not familiarized with. Basically, what I do for my videos, I normally adjust the brightness and the contrast. Less contrast and more brightness, I think. And I also go for warmer tone. I know that some people like to go for colder tones, so it's just like what you want. Also, there's a free app that you can use on your phone, and I've basically preached about this app. There's this app called Snow, and it's actually a filter app for your face. Whenever I film something on my phone, almost every time I will use a filter from Snow because they're just so artsy. I can also use it for thumbnails. I can also use it for Instagram. It gives you that artsy look without having to pay for those expensive programs or without doing them yourself. My last step is to rewatch my videos. I rewatch my videos 1,000 times before I upload them. It's to an obsessive degree. At the end of each video, I have so many layers and cuts and text and music, and everything's kind of splattered, so it's very easy for something to be misplaced or to not be on sync the way that I wanted to. There are also decisions that I make on editing that I might regret later. If I notice that a clip should be longer or shorter, I will go back and I will retouch it. I can't post something that has a mistake in it. And it's not really a mistake because most likely no one will notice. But if I notice, I can't post it. I think going back indefinitely, like, I could go back to my videos indefinitely. There's a time always to stop because I don't think twitching on your videos forever is healthy. For example, in my Never Have I Ever video, the color grading is so off to my eyes. At the time, I was just so sick of editing that video that I was just like, I'm gonna go for the best possible choice. Our videos don't have to be perfect. This is not like some TV thing. It's to our own standards. The rendering process is also pretty long, so if I decide to retouch and re-render the video, because some stuff I can only notice after everything's rendered, it can mean that the video will only be uploaded on the next day. Try to do like a weekly type of thing. At the beginning, I was really strict about it myself, and I was like, I'm sorry I didn't post this week. But it's definitely like there has to be a balance between quantity and quality. You can't just post just for posting, but you can't delay because you want the quality to be perfect. There has to be a balance. So that's pretty much it. I haven't finished my coffee yet, so this one was quick. These are not like rigid steps that I think about while editing, and I hope it doesn't come across that way. It's not something like I go, oh, now I have to add text. Now it's time for color grading. Because editing is a creative process, right? You kind of see how you want the viewers to feel while watching the video, which I think is really important. Filming and editing is such a cool thing, and it has given me a lot of confidence, and I've learned so much just from filming and sharing with y'all, and I think it's such a good experience. But it's definitely something that you must think about before starting, especially if you're putting your face online. I edited a bunch of videos before I posted my first one. You don't have to post everything that you do. It doesn't have to go online, so you can just film and edit for your own sake, and when you're comfortable, post it. So you don't have to do everything for the internet. So if you're a new YouTuber or incoming YouTuber, have fun. Good luck for your channel. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Alright, I will see you soon. Bye.